message box, how many of those messages can you show at once? Well, either you show one or the other, or you have to kind of go into this state where you craft a bigger message box, right? Saying, the following fields have been found blank, and then maybe you list them out. But here, we can actually, I'm pretty sure, say, run this on two fields. This is called txt_ssn. txt_ssn. Say the SSN.
That's kind of like the same thing you get when you get near your program. Oh, big.
Oh, crazy.
How much you love that? Isn't that cool? Now, you can't control the blink rate, but the user immediately gets the impression there's two problems, right? And you didn't have to make them sort of acknowledge with the ugly bonk and stuff like that. And both of them have their own little hover tooltip state. And as I recall, what a couple of the other things we can do, let's see, does set error just have one? Oh, look at that. The error provider is pretty cool. We can do things like set the icon alignment, probably can't read that, which says, where's the icon going to be? So for example, equals, let's see, I would have thought set icon alignment takes txt name, comma. Notice we can choose, I don't know if you can see this, we can choose from the bottom left to the bottom right, middle left, middle right, top left, top right. So let's go with the, on the first one, we'll put it on the bottom left. How's that? Put that on top.
Crazy.
Isn't that wild? So just by telling it that you want it on the left, that's where it shows. Now, can you tell the difference between the bottom left, you think, and the middle left, and the top left?
Slightly.
Maybe slightly. Maybe. Can you tell that this one, the one on this side, is a little bit farther down than the other one? So why would you get to specify bottom left, bottom right?
Yeah,
the
like-
size of your controller.
Yeah, if you have a giant text field.
Right, so I think if we go in here and we can say something like multi-line is true. Now notice, and I think this is cool, we can move these around, and these error handler, these little error providers will just follow us wherever we go. So what they do is they pass in the control, they look at the control's placement on the form, they look at the height and width, as well as its upper left X and Y coordinate, and it figures out where it needs to put that in order to show the little error.
Food behind the scenes.
There's a lot of code. Now, what other things we can do with these little error providers, and you can guess we're going to use them in lab probably, we can set the icon padding to say how much space should there be between the symbol and the text field, because it's kind of just mushed right up there, right? We can set the icon, if we had another icon, which I don't think equals icon dots, no. If we had some different icons, what are other icons we might want to
The
use?
properties, icon designer that had cool icon field.
Oh, look at that. So there's the icon. Now we got to go find an icon now. Now icon files are just, are kind of weird. They're not exactly like bitmaps, like PNGs. How about a Halloween icon? Oh no, these are going to be the wrong kind. I was going to create an icon file. Let's not worry about it. Right here we can change it certainly, but we have to go find a particular file. It looks like we can even include larger icons because it says we can include them at they're 16 by 16. Yeah. What?
So you make it humongous.
You could make it. Now the other thing we have is this blink style. We can say always blink. What do you suppose that one does?
Give features.
Now if we set it to always blink, you can guess it doesn't just blink for a while, it blinks forever.
It's like the it.
Right, the blink rate, so you put in 100, you suppose it's gonna go, what do you suppose the 250 represented?
Milliseconds.
And then was that how long it showed?
How fast it blinked.
Yeah, I think that
Intermission.
probably is the, so now we've reduced the time between how long it's gonna show.
That used to be a siren.
Right, and this one's kind of interesting. We have always blink, never blink. Excuse me, and then we have blink if a different error, which I think is maybe the default. There we go. Notice what's happening. I'm clicking save, and what's it doing?
Nothing.
So now it will only blink if a different error has been thrown into the
So if you
system.
type something in one of the boxes,
So for example, if let's pretend this wasn't my cancel button. Let's pretend this button was called, let's call it save to. And on save to, we can, let's put a different error into the first text box saying the name cannot be Dustin. How about that? Dustin. So now clicking on the first one activates both of them, and clicking on the second one will reactivate it only because we've given it a second error message. So what it does is it's pretty smart. If it's called and it has the same error text as it's already displaying, it won't blink again. Because that would just be annoying, right? So I can click save 2 all day long. What do you think will happen if I click save 1?
it'll do it again.
No, you'll get the,
Because I put a different, on save 1 I put the name cannot be blank, but on save 2 I put the name cannot be Dustin. So each one is a different error text, and basically these little controls make it really, I think, a lot, I don't know, I think they're a lot friendlier than just bonk. So we're definitely going to use these in Lab 5, which is our final lab. By the way, when is finals week? Does anyone know?
No, we're not having that this time.
Oh, they canceled finals week?
Oh, yeah.
They got rid of it, budget cuts.
Couldn't afford it. So let's see, this is next week, right? This is the first, is Monday.